everybody, welcome to my kitchen. I am Michelle with Garden Jargon, and today I'm going to make a recipe that I saw on Roots and Refuge Farm from Jessica. It is her salsa recipe. Her recipe that's straight out of the garden with fresh vegetables, minus I don't grow cilantro because I am not so good at growing herbs. So I had to go buy the cilantro, had to buy the onions because my onions are too little and they're not dry yet. And I did grow all my tomatoes and I did grow all my peppers. So, and I had to use store-bought garlic. So her recipe, I will link it below, as well as I'll link the video where she makes it. Is about 6 to 8 pounds of fresh tomatoes, 8 to 10 jalapeno peppers. That just kind of goes by how hot you want it, I guess. I had a garlic. I did I think 7 large cloves. I don't think that you can overdo garlic. I love garlic. It calls for 2 onions. I did an onion and a half because they were very large. 2 tablespoons of salt. I'm not sure about that one yet. I haven't made it myself, and I like my chips salty, not my salsa. So I will try to just add that as we go to see how I like the taste. The juice of a lemon, and then a 1/4 cup of honey, which I think is a nice little twist that she's got going on with her salsa. So what I did was I oiled up 2 trays, 6 to 8 pounds of tomatoes are this size tomatoes. There's 5 in here. I have 2 more that I'm going to show you how to core, because you want to take the cores out of these before you cut them up and you roast them, because those don't break down very good. I got this tool at the store. It's a core and I don't like it. I just bought it. They make like a little spoon kind of thing that can core these as well. This has a jagged edge on this side and a straight edge on this side, and you just kind of stab it in there and go around. So that's what I did for all these tomatoes. And I did them about 30 minutes ago. Some of them are super juicy because it's the variety of the tomato that it is. And some are not so juicy. But I'm trying to let some of that juice run out. See, it takes the center right out of the tomato. And then I set them upside down in this Tupperware, letting some of the juice run out. And then this is the other tomato. And I'm just sticking it in there, and I'm twisting the jagged edge around over my garbage bowl over here and get that cut out. Now this one was super juicy. That was juicing all over the place. So there's this tomato. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop these up into rough, huge pieces. First of all, I already chopped up the onion, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on the tray. More of the onion that is on the surface of the cooking pan will give you more brown bits. I like brown roasted bits, so I'm totally fine with cutting them up. The oven is set right now at 350 degrees. This is the garlic. I've already peeled it, and I wanted to share with you a little tip on how to peel garlic. Like, here's a piece of garlic right here. I just take my knife, the flat edge of the knife, and I lay it on top of the garlic, and I hit it with my hand. I'm not pounding it really hard because I don't want to mince this garlic. I don't want to kind of chop it up. I want to kind of keep it in a solid form. So I just do a little bounce on there on both sides and shake it out. That one's got a little brown spot, so I will cut that off. Slippery sucker. Put them on the tray. And the next one, same thing. I'm going to use the flat side of my knife. Give it a little bounce, and that paper peels right off. And then if you're like dicing it or mincing it for a recipe, pound it really hard and it will almost shatter. Just like that. Put that on the tray. Get rid of this. I already cut up all my jalapenos. I have these green ones that are the mild jalapenos. These are all right here. Put those on the tray. I pulled the seeds out. In Jess's video it says, oh, and then the red ones. These are jalapenos that have been on the vine for a super long time, so these are probably pretty warm, pretty hot. I don't like atomic hot, but I do like a little heat. So after we roast these, I'll add them slowly to the recipe to see how well they put some heat in the salsa. So I just took the jalapeno like this, and I used the core and just slid some of the seeds out of there. I'm also wearing gloves because I'm not going to itch my eye later and end up having to use an eye wash to get the heat. I've done that twice this summer, thinking that the jalapeno is not hot. What was I thinking? Now I'm going to go ahead and chop up some of these tomatoes. There might be some brown bits on these. Some of them split because of the heat and me watering, so I use those first. I'm just chunk these up, put them on this tray. I got a Kellogg's breakfast in here. I have a Cherokee purple in here. I have beef steaks in here. This is the Kellogg's breakfast, the orange one. One more slice. So far that's what the tray looks like. With those. I did oil the pan first because I would like not to have to scrape these tomatoes off if I don't have to. Whoa. She does recommend 350-degree oven for about 40 minutes. If you don't see char that you would like, you can put them back in for a little longer. I need this one had a little brown spot. I think I need to sharpen my knife. This one must have been a variety called Delicious Tomato because it's got a lot of seeds and a lot of juice. I was trying to get tomatoes with not a lot of juice. I don't like my salsa all that watery. I like it a little more chunky. But this is my first time making this recipe. I do not claim that it's mine. That's a pretty tomato. I like to just make new recipes and do them for the first time on film so that I can possibly make a mistake and share it with you so you don't make the same mistake that I do. So, again, 6 to 8 pounds of tomatoes, 8 to 10 jalapenos. She also uses stone bakeware. I don't have stone bakeware. I just have regular cookie sheets. So that's what I'm going to use. But stoneware will heat up and brown the bits a little bit faster. So I might have to bake this and roast this a little bit longer. Also 2 onions. I did an onion and a half. The cilantro, I have a bunch of cilantro, 2 tablespoons of salt, a juice of a lemon, and a 1/4 cup of honey. I'm going to throw this in the oven. Oh, I want to put a little more oil over the top. I'm just using vegetable oil. I'm sure you can use olive oil. It does have a higher burn temperature for that. And here we go. Set my timer. Okay. There. in the oven. They are roasting. I'm going to roast them at 350 for 40 minutes. Pull them out, see if it gets some brown bits on it. We're going to put them, you can start to peel off the skins once the tomatoes are roasted. They come off really easy. You just kind of lift them up and they'll just peel right off. You can take them off, you can leave them on. If they're going to kind of fall off easy, I'm going to go ahead and pull them off. I'm not going to do a lot of effort to get them off. And then you put them in batches in a food processor, and you have a big bowl. I'll probably just use this thing again. Fill this up with the batches that I'm doing, and then I'll do a batch with all the jalapenos and add them a little bit at a time, stir it up and taste it. Same thing with the salt. So I'll add gradually the jalapenos and the salt. I'll put the honey in for sure because I think that's a nice little twist to some salsa. And put it in there and taste it. So that's the beginning of Jessica's salsa recipe that her and Jeremiah are making down at Roots and Refuge Farm. And I am copycatting it because I want to try it and I can't wait to taste it. I don't know how much it's going to make, but I am prepared with canning jars so I can can it up and share it with my neighbors. So that's what I have going on today. I'm going to press pause right now and we'll come back when the oven is done roasting. Alrighty, we're back. We roasted all of our vegetables in the oven, and a lot, because I've never done this before, a lot of liquid came out. I don't know if you could see all of that juice. It's on the tray. I actually have already drained it off. I put a tray on top of it and drained it into the sink. But what I realize is when I scoop them up and put them in the food processor, I don't need to scoop up the juice. So that's one good thing. Another thing that I noticed after 40 minutes being in the oven is I don't see any brown bits. So I didn't get that roasted char kind of feel. If I want to do that next time and have kind of like that charred roasted kind of feel to the vegetables, then I can even throw them in a broiler for a second and char them up a little bit before I pull them out. And then I have gone through and pulled off all the skins of the tomatoes, and I just saved a couple here left. I'm basically just taking tongs and you just pinch the skin and wiggle it a little bit and it will come right off. Just like that. Oop, missed the bowl. So I got probably 90% of all the skins off. That one. And this one. I have one more. Where'd it go? Or did I get it already? Oh, no, here. Pull off those skins. Oh, looks like I missed this one. I think Jess says in her video, it doesn't matter if you pull the skins off or not. It's just mostly a personal preference if you want to take those off. So I will get rid of those skins. I'm going to use this bowl. After I blend my salsa in the food processor, I will put it in there. All right, the food processor is on, and I'm just going to start putting the vegetables inside the food processor. I have something that could be used a little better. I've had this thing in my kitchen forever, this spoon with all the holes. I don't even know what it's really for. I use it for all kinds of goofy things. I'm sure there was a purpose and it was invented, but I use it for all the crazy things. Like this, to strain off my tomatoes before I threw them in this food processor. Tons of juice came out of these tomatoes. I had no idea that that was going to happen, but now I know. And I'm also not going to like puree it. I'm gonna just pulse it to get it to a good consistency. Pulling off some of the garlic over here. Not putting in any jalapenos yet. That's good for now. Get this tray out of the way. Put the lid on here. That's a nice consistency. Dump it in the bowl. My dear friend Erin gave me this food processor when I moved from Las Vegas, Nevada, back here to Chicago. She used to be my massage therapist, and every time I would go over and walk through her garage, it was always sitting on her counter or on a shelf in her garage. And I never saw her use it. So one day I asked her before I moved, I said, do you mind if I take that food processor with me? She's like, what food processor? She forgot it was even in the garage. That's how she didn't even realize it was in there. I was like, that food processor right there came with tons of attachments, tons of blades. It is missing one piece, and I'm having a heck of a time trying to find it on eBay or any like supply house for KitchenAid food processors. It's making me kind of crazy because I could totally use that piece and I can't because I can't find it anywhere. Oh, I'm gonna put in some cilantro as well, because you can't just throw the cilantro in here and get it going on its own. You have to have some other kind of substance in there before you do that. I like cilantro, so I'm gonna use quite a bit. My squirrels are in the backyard right now feeding, so they'll be up in the window, I'm sure, as we're doing this. So good. I can already tell that I want to do more onion next time. Two. Now for the jalapenos. Again, I did 50% hot and 50% not. I love the taste of jalapenos, but sometimes I just can't handle the heat. So let's pulse those up. Make like a jalapeno paste. Woo! Ooh, when they were roasting, my nose was burning. Stir this up a little bit. I still have not added the honey, and I still have not added the lemon juice, so I will do that right now. I could probably put more cilantro in. I'm looking at it, and it looks like I could put more cilantro in there. I want to put the jalapenos in a bowl. Oh goodness, that's strong. Peppers are so pretty though. I grew this year a pepper called Sugar Rush Peach, as well as a pepper called Violet Sparkle. Sugar Rush Peach is taking forever to ripen to a peach color. And I read the reviews on rareseed.com, and then my Violet Sparkle, they're doing really good. I got those seeds from a seed exchange. Okay, I'm going for it. I'm putting half of the peppers in the salsa. Half. Cross your fingers. Who knows? I don't know if this is going to be spicy or not. Let's get some honey. Calls for 1/4 of a cup. That's how I measure. That's about 1/4 of a cup. And I do have my favorite tool in the world. One of these. That's a lemon squisher. And the juice of a lemon. It gets all the juice out and no seeds. Still have to add the salt. And Jessica's recipe that she uses calls for 2 tablespoons of salt. She also talks about the different types of salt, the kosher salt, the Himalayan salt, the iodized salt, like just regular table salt or flaky salt. They all have a different type of strongness. So you have to add salt a little at a time because you cannot take it out. So you want to be very, very careful. So I've mixed that up pretty good. Now I just got to add the salt. I use also pink Himalayan salt. I got this big old jug of pink Himalayan salt. It's called the Original Salt Company. It's 5 pounds of Himalayan salt, and I got it at Big Lots. So that's where I got it. So I'll go ahead and put a tablespoon in. And I will stir it up and I will test it. This looks like restaurant style salsa. Looks really yummy. And I still have a bunch of peppers left in case I want to add more heat. So I will leave those there. Where's the chips? Ah, here they are. Here we go. It's weird tasting salsa when it's hot. Well, temperature hot. That's really good. So weird. The honey makes it special. I'm pretty sensitive to hot jalapenos, and I don't even taste any jalapenos. That's my squirrel in the window. So I'm going to add went down the wrong pipe. I just added half more of the half that I had left over of the peppers. I can taste the garlic in there. I love garlic, period, so I know I'll add more garlic next time. Onion, definitely be adding a little bit more onion. I might even not roast the onion as long so it's more of a crunch, and we'll see. I'm going to try this next bite with a spoon to see about the salt, because my chips have salt and I want to make sure that I can taste. I'd do it again. It's really good. Now I can taste the jalapeno. I'm adding a little more. It's not enough, but at least I know now how to add the jalapenos in there without ruining it. I think the salt, there's enough in there, and I just used a tablespoon. And I don't like my salsa spicy or salty, and I use salty chips. So, hi Wiggles. Hi. There you go. Get your peanut. Well, I think I did a fine job with this salsa. Again, if I make a recipe and I got it off of YouTube, I'm going to make sure I tell you that. I'm not about stealing people's ideas. I just like to make them and share them. Why didn't you tell me there was stuff all over my shirt? So now I just got to put this in some jars and share it with some people. I don't need to can it because I'm not going to be storing it on a shelf for a long time. People are going to eat this right now, I know. But I think that little secret of Jess's about the honey is an awesome idea. I've heard of people putting sugar in their salsa. That honey is perfect. And she also talks about the different kinds of honey because different regions have different flavor honey. And your peppers. Use whatever peppers you want, but this is a really good recipe and I will be making it again. I used Himalayan salt. I used Great Lakes Golden Honey. I'm from the Midwest, so maybe that came from Michigan somewhere. And I always use these restaurant style chips from the store. And the juice of a full lemon and cilantro. And I might end up adding more cilantro, but for sake of time of the video, I think I'm going to cut it short now. I want to thank you very much for joining me in my kitchen today. I love having you here. I love cooking and sharing, and if you are here hanging out, you could be drinking a cocktail or a glass of wine or a Dr. Pepper cream soda, because those are fantastic, and enjoy hanging out in my kitchen with me, and I would show you a recipe. So thank you for hanging out with me today. I wish you the best in all of your gardening adventures. If you have a favorite recipe, share it with me. I'd love to see it in the comments below. Or if you have a video of a recipe that you've made in the past, share that video with me so that I can try that recipe next time. But I want to say thank you very much for joining me again. I wish you the best, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. God bless.